This is the Tar Barrel Trail party. It's just kicking off. We're finalizing the last few minutes of setup. Our tent, chairs. There's the cabin. We are celebrating 100 years, almost to the day. People are just starting to gather. There's Bonnie Anderson, my mother. Our music tonight is by Kenwood Slim, Larry Rennerfeld. He's just setting up. We have Linda LaFrance doing the name tag table. Hi Linda, thank you.
And the mosquitoes are loving her.
Oh, you did a good job.
We have the guest book over here.
So,
And the keg was just tapped. There's my husband Pete.
Perfect, just for
Oh, there's not so much foam anymore. Very good.
There's a good
This is for Ruffy and Jane. Here's Joanna. Hi, say hi to Mom and Dad. And Bruce and Frank.
thank you.
There's Trisha. Sharon and Julie and Guy. Pete, Jennifer, Bruce, Linny. Dave, Jim. Happy anniversary to the Andersons.
The liquor license.
Keep. Woo! Hey, Greg.
You're documenting all this, right?
I am. Those cute fire hats. Thanks, Greg.
Lindsay, can I sneak in the house if I need to?
Oh yeah, use either of the cabins, sure. Bird, Bonnie, Greg Shaw, Linda Torseth, Trevor's mom.
Did you see him on production? And then the dog would bite him.
Yes. Kira and Annika and Leah, Billy Torseth and the doggy.
We used to have that as the here now.
We are ready. I promise, short, but I wanted to thank everybody, and it's very nice to see all our friends and neighbors and relatives. This is great. I think you all know it's the 100th anniversary of this piece of land. That building right there was built by an unknown fisherman who I'm trying to find out his name in 1910. And then he sold it to my grandparents in 1921. And so we've been up here since then. You know, this area kind of grew up in concert with International Falls and Fort Frances, as you all know. And I thought just a little bit of history for the younger ones to know what happened here and how we ended up where we are today, and to remind everybody that it's really our responsibility to keep this a nice place. You know, it's been this way for 100 years, and just kind of think about it, what it's going to be like in another 100 years. It's kind of our responsibility to make sure it's still nice and great for our kids and our grandkids. So please keep that in mind. And again, I guess it's a yellow truck. Cough up a few bucks when you're asked to donate to the local fire department. So as I mentioned, the place kind of grew up with International Falls and Fort Frances. The railroad, of course, came to the local area here in the early 1900s, and so there was a market for fishing. And so the fishermen, there was quite a few fishermen on Rainy Lake, both sides of the border, because they had a market to Winnipeg and Chicago and Minneapolis. I love dogs. It's Casey, Ed, it's Casey again. Casey, by the way, she's banned from Shay Shay. So you can see, you can probably tell why. But anyway, the fisherman builds this place in 1910. He had tar barrels on these beaches here on the northwest side, and that's the name. Tar barrels to keep the nets, whatever you want to call it, to keep the nets up to speed so they caught their whitefish and walleyes. So that's where the name came from. And Tricia Tibbetts' dad actually named the place Tar Barrel Trail. So if anybody wanted to know where that name came from, that's it. Let me say a few more things here. Then by the 1920s, of course, International Falls and Port Francis were prospering, and people started looking to enjoy the lake on both sides of the border. And the first cabins, of course, were in the South Arm there on those islands. But then my grandparents bought this place, and there was two other cabins up here in the 1925, about 1925. Smallings across the bay here, where Rosty's are now, and then Siegs Point. So those were the three cabins with this one. So that was kind of the first level of cabins in this area. And then I guess one other significant thing was the area was logged. Got the date here in 1933. Shelvin Clark logged this area. My grandmother, though, was smart enough to talk them into leaving some of these big trees. So we have these trees are a couple hundred years old here, and the loggers did not cut down some of these beautiful big pines here, so that's kind of a neat feature of our area here. Shelvin Clark. And then let me see what next year. I don't want to go into this too much detail, but there was kind of another generation of cabins that started in Wolf Bay next door here. The executives from Minnesota and Ontario Power Company built cabins. The Mathers and Larsons in Wolf Bay. So that was kind of another thing that happened here. The power line went in 1926 to the Seine River to bring power to Fort Francis and to the mill. Just kind of interesting. And then by the 1920s, or the 1950s, my grandmother and her relatives died, and it passed on to the second generation, which was my mother and my uncle, Tricia's dad, got the place. So that's kind of the history. And then everything started changing, of course, when the causeway went in 1965. And you can imagine all the new cabins in it that the causeway developed and permitted. This road here went in about 1970, and Hydro went in about 1970. And then, so the cabins started appearing about that time. What else? There's one little piece of interesting information. There was iron mining for one summer in 1965 about, up there at the intersection of Hopkins Bay Road and Reef Point Road. So that was kind of an interesting situation. Let's see, what else? That's really about it, and I think I just wanted to conclude that the lady that owned the cabins behind us here, we called her Aunt Zitha. She kept a very nice log from 1925 to 1955, and it's real interesting reading. I got it on Word if anybody wants a copy. Let me know how cabin life was in the 20s and 30s up here. Very interesting. They'd canoe up to Mainville and fish. They'd canoe. They'd walk downtown. Just a lot of stories on how things went up here. So it was quite exciting. And I'm going to end, and then Tricia's going to have a couple of words. Tricia Tibbetts, who's the other third generation. Yeah. Have a few words. But I wanted to read what Zitha said as she left this place. She left in, she had her diary, and her last entry was 1955, and she moved to California. She said, as Z leaves her camp, she hopes that it will bring joy and happiness to those who come after, as it has given us. Please treat it tenderly and kindly. Blessings to all who enjoy it. Same goes for me.
Oh boy. The rest of my relatives, wish they could be here. Dick and Ruffy and Kathy. And I was really fortunate I could make it here, thanks to my sweet daughter.
Paul's idea.
But, we were really blessed. Why could we be so lucky that we every summer, for years and years, come up here every summer and play and meet our relatives, our huge family on my mother's side was here every summer. We played, we had a great time, we swam. Uncles taught us how to fish and how to swim, and we were everywhere in the canoe, and Grandpa built us some wooden rowboat that we fooled around with.
Platforms.
We had so much fun, and we got to be really close that way. I think the whole family did, and we were still close. And then Francie would come up here and with her kids, Linda and Billy, and then they got their place, and then we'd be going back and forth with boats and having fun. And I tell you, I have all kinds of really good memories. Millions of them.
That's it. You gotta let these people
I
out.
can't even. Remember the crows that you got in the tree? The mom was dive bombing. Okay, anybody else?
Annika and Leah are having fun with Finley and Vanna and Kira. All the cousins getting ready for a picture. Hey, Dad.
Give me a break.
Job well done, Dad.
Give me a break. Thank you. Give me a break.
Dessert time for Annika and Leah. Fruit and cookies. I'm zooming in on you, Leah. Hi, honey. Hi, Annika. Nettie and Diane are chatting. Hello. Dave and Frank and Dennis.
Good night, good night. I'll see you.
Mom, look at Lindsay.
Good night, Irene.
Who likes to dance? Who would dance with her right now?
This is Ed Kuhn. Stop your rambling. Stop your gambling. Stop
Must be allergic to me. I started sneezing and I started talking.
Berkeley, is he here? No, he left this morning with his grandma.
Oh, okay.
You guys are having fun together. This is great. This is the what, 4th or 5th or 6th generation of Rainy Lake kids.
Yeah, it is.
Rob, Sharon, Jen, and Howard. Hello, hello. What do you think, Dad?